Hey, what's up? We are live again, and today let's talk a little bit more about the news. Like I promised, we will do this a little bit more during the week just to vary the content on the channel as well. And where are we here? Let's switch straight to this. And I just watched a video of Bernie Sanders basically getting out of the race. And I have to say, I'm a little bit upset. I'm a little bit upset, and I'm going to give you my thoughts on this because actually, this is the news. Anyway, I'm upset because, first of all, already from last time, already 4 years ago when he lost to Hillary Clinton, I was quite upset because I thought, as a foreigner, of course, I don't live in the States, but I have family in the US. So I feel closely what's going on. My sister, my nephew, they all live there. And so I always feel like somehow connected very much to the country, even though I don't live there. When I saw Sanders for the first time, I really had some hopes that there would be some kind of change that in the States more or less has never happened. You know, like somebody that is really, truly more on the side of people. And perhaps he promised that some things that have never been, that always have been an issue and that never been fixed, perhaps to do something about it. So that was the appeal. And I think it was the appeal of a lot of people because he had support. But then I guess, I'm not going to get into the details of whatever happened, also because I don't have that kind of knowledge. But to me, it seemed like a little bit like a sort of sabotage from their own political party, and now in this period we seem a little bit the same as happened. Somehow is pulling out, but if I'm not mistaken, is still staying in the list. There are a few things that are not exactly clear because one news report that say he's halting, is putting like a sort of a pause the race, and he's like sort of supporting Biden. I have a little bit of difficulties believing that Biden, which has been already the vice president with Obama administration, that he would have a chance to win. I hope so, because at this point it's really like the lesser of evil again. But to me, from what I understand, for the things that I read, of course, a moderate Democrat seems like anyway a better option than having somebody that seems just like he's just losing his mind basically. In the early days, when the very first month or so that Trump went to power, like many, I was willing to believe, okay, let's give this guy a chance. Let's try to see if he's gonna do something, whatever, in a different way, but work on things. So I was open personally to see what it could do. But then as the time has passed, he really realized that the only thing Trump is really good at is just talking BS. And it's really upsetting because it's like there's this incredible ability of sort of managing the media, and with this behavior of denial, like denying even the fact they're placed in front of his face all the time, he still manages to sway a certain type of person in the news and in the electorate, the voters, which I think is both dangerous and strange. Again, like many in the beginning, I was somebody like, hey, let's give this guy a chance, let's see what he can do. And then I realized, oh wow, this is getting worse and worse by the month, by the year, and now, of course, in retrospect, anybody with a common sense, look at what it's been done. And you realize that society has been going on more or less in the same way as always has. And unfortunately, this year has got way worse. And this is a moment where I think more than ever, we need political figures which they're really, really, really sharp and clear and understanding what to do in the startup again of society. Because now with this whole thing with the disease that we're going through, oh man, it's just getting tough everywhere. It's just getting unbelievably crazy. And the last thing you want is to have leaders which they're like a little bit out of this world, you know, that they're not connected with the normal people, so to speak. So I'm actually quite upset that Bernie went out, because I was hoping like, oh wow, this is perhaps, and again, I'm not a specialist or anything. I'm just, you know, a guy sharing some opinions from whatever I read. So take everything with a grain of salt. But I'm really upset that Bernie pulled out, because I really thought this guy seems like really what the states need after so many years, you know? Like capitalism has proved time and time again that the free market, it's not always great. And especially in time like this, you realize when people start, I read something like, oh, look, economy is collapsing because people are just buying what they need. And I'm like, wow, that's true. That's real. You know what I mean? Or another meme, like I read this meme going around, like saying, if capitalism is so great, why has to be bailed out by socialism every 10 years or so? And I'm telling you from a point of view of being, you know, a small entrepreneur, having my own business, and in this crisis, I'm seeing myself like the disruption of everything, you know, everything that I worked on, everything that I sacrificed for, and all of a sudden go like, wow, this whole thing just all of a sudden, no cash flow, nothing, and it can just jeopardize your existence. So then in this period, I'm also willing like, oh, okay, maybe we have to rethink some strategies for people, because what I'm going through personally, it's something that probably hundreds of thousands of people are going through right now. So if not millions. So it really puts into perspective like, okay, whatever we had, whatever we were working on, whatever has been the normal before, probably cannot be the normal after this. So, and a guy like Bernie seemed like more inclined to work with people, with everyone, to create a new structure of society, to create something that it's better for more and still move forward. You know, not like I'm not a fanatic of communism or all that kind of stuff. I mean, all those old notions, they're so like passé. You know, like you cannot build the future with old ideas all the time. You gotta implement. We gotta find out new ways. You know, we can use the whole, but still we gotta find new ways. Old ideology, hammering always the same stuff. It doesn't seem really to work. So I was hoping that even though Bernie is like 76 or so, or probably older, 77. I was hoping that perhaps even with one run, if he got elected, perhaps could have given a signal to the States. And because the States is the biggest country in the world, by default will give also a signal to the rest of the world. That's why for me it's so important. And now with Biden, I feel like we are back into a more moderate what we know of Democrats, you know, like more playing it safe, maybe trying some stuff like Obama did, but never really being able to make it through, like the Obamacare and all that kind of stuff. So I worry also that perhaps because he's not as charismatic as and appealing as Sanders to an extent, you know, he might lose to the ability of Trump to bullshit his way through everything. You know what I mean? Especially now, like I was reading an article, like this is an unfair advantage now Trump has, because he's basically every day on TV, and he's trying really hard to use also this thing that it's going on to sort of influence his campaign afterwards, I assume. And if anything goes right, you know, like for instance, like a vaccine comes out or something, then it's like, oh, he for sure is going to take credit for it, you know, and the other guy cannot be in TV, there are not debates. So basically there is an unfair advantage also in terms of exposure, and you know that exposure is so important for convincing people. They don't see you, they tend to forget you, you become an abstraction. So the more they see Trump, the more he's going to have the ability of bullshit his way through everything. So yeah, I'm a little bit upset. And also, guys, let me know, what this thing of staying in the list meant, if you know exactly, because also the American system, it's also a little bit strange. and convoluted with the electorate and the votes and all the way they do, like the voting system. It's kind of strange. I never really fully understood it. Why there are like selected amount of people which get to choose who becomes president, and the popular vote doesn't seem to be as relevant. So it's always a little bit confusing. So anyway, I just wanted to share some news for today. A little long rant. Let me know what you think. Let me know your thoughts. If you want to see more of this, we're gonna do it. We're gonna discuss and we're gonna talk. Not only reactions. We are human. We need all of this. We need to react to also those things which will affect our life. And as always, please stay healthy. Stay inside if you can. Just okay, you can touch yourself. It's fine. Nobody's watching. But, wash your hands, eat healthy, and so on and so forth. Train a little bit, and I'll see you later. Ciao. Take good care.